What's going on? I can't hear CJ.
You can't hear me?
Oh,
I can hear you now.
All right, so I believe
we are live.
We are live.
You
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome everybody to MultiTap Gaming. We are the MultiTap team here for another episode of MultiTap Gaming podcast. I'm one of the hosts, Chucks. I was about to call myself CJ. What the hell? Anyway, bottom right we have CJ. Bottom right we have CJ.
Bang bang.
We have top right Andan, who I just whitewashed in FIFA, by the way, the game that he loves so much. But we're not going to focus on that. We've got Ams in the top left.
Crazy.
And we're gonna get straight into it. You guys know what to do though. Hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and do all of that good stuff. Straight into it though. The game we've been playing this week, and I feel like we've all actually been playing something this week as well, so this should be interesting. I'm gonna go first. As I said, just whitewashed and done in FIFA, so I've been playing that. I've also
You know
what? I'm just doing it because I know it gets under his skin. Look at him; he's not unbothered right now. But I've been playing FIFA 21 as well. Been playing some Horizon Zero Dawn on PC, and really and truly, I'm just really waiting for Cyberpunk because I know that's going to be game of the year. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. What about you guys?
Okay, I finished God of War now, and I finally platinumed it as well, so I'm happy with that. It took me a long time coming. Sorry, boys, I know I took way too long to play that game, but I played it and I platinumed it, so I'm chuffed with that. And now I'm even more excited with like number 2 coming. Well, at some point, maybe next year. I'm praying it'll be next year. I played a little bit of World War Z with Ams. Just on PC, so I just tried that out. That was quite fun actually. I quite enjoyed that. And I've been dabbling between Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Wolfenstein, but number 1. So I haven't played that before, and surprisingly, I'm enjoying it. I didn't know what to expect. I just put it on to give it a go, and I'm quite pleased with what I'm getting out of it. There's collectibles. I like the action. Yeah, so good game. He's old, sorry. I know.
And then, what have you been playing?
So apart from FIFA, this week I've been playing Ori and the Blind Forest.
Wow.
So yeah. So I started that sometime last week, I think. But I've been banging out that game, man. That is a very, very good game, man. Yeah, I definitely recommend it.
Wait, is that the first one or the second one?
That's the first one, yeah. So I'm gonna complete that one first, and then after I go to Will of the Wisps. But yeah, no, if you like platforming games and just good puzzle games or whatever, it's a good game to play. Yeah, so I'm about 80% through. So yeah, hopefully it should be done maybe tomorrow or something like that. Anyway, so yeah, it's a good game.
Apparently go on.
Sorry.
How long is that game? Ages ago.
Yeah, on my playtime, I think I've played about 7.5 hours. So it's probably about a 10-hour game.
Oh, yeah. Apparently the second one is a lot better than the first one. I've been playing that as well. But yeah, Ams, what have you been playing this week?
Apart from World War Z, I've been playing Saints Row the 4th. On Game Pass. I played a bit of UFC because I wasn't. Basically, through your career, if you do certain things, you become greatest of all time. And I felt like I needed to have that on my record, so I went back and played that until I was greatest of all time. It felt great. And on Friday, I got Mafia Definitive Edition. I've been playing that. It looks really good.
It looks really good. Does it play really good?
It has the system from Mafia 3, but I feel like it plays better than Mafia 3. Like, it handles the gun better.
Okay.
The melee system is not the best, but
What they did, they've revamped the game 1, 2, and you get 3 on there as well. 1, 2, and 3. Or
no, I just bought number 1. So 2 is a visual remaster.
right.
3, I don't know what they done. It came out this gen, so they couldn't have done much. This one, because it was on PS2, they had to rebuild it from the ground up.
Okay.
So they've done new voice actors, new motion capture, new gameplay. It plays well, especially for a game that's £35, I think. So it's a lower price game.
That's pretty good.
It's funny, but £35 used to be like a standard. Now we call it a lower price game. That is expensive.
It's favorite, boy.
You can pick up a game for £12, like maybe 17.99 or something like that. Oh, 35
games are about to be £70 next gen, so boy, best not saving.
Companies in their basement and put that out. It's a very good quality game. Now they've got hundreds of millions on their budget, so they had to pass the cost over eventually.
Yes, that's true. But let's get into our first topic, though. No good segue for that one. But I think this one's very important, actually, because we don't really get into political stuff too much, especially in the gaming industry. But it's very important to get our thoughts and our opinions on these kind of things as well. It's just, how do you guys feel about Cyberpunk 2077 having a bit of crunch to their cereal? Okay, wait, let me start again, because people aren't gonna get that. People aren't gonna get that.
Gosh.
But yeah, basically crunch in gaming terms, just for anyone that doesn't really understand, it basically means that the studio members work basically almost 7 days a week, sometimes 6. Longer hours during the day as well, just to get a game finished and to polish it off. And this could last up to maybe like 2 months, sometimes maybe even longer. Sometimes I believe that for a game like The Last of Us 2, it actually lasted several years actually. So it can last a very long time. People are dedicated, but sometimes members of the team actually don't mind doing it or want to do it. And I'm sure this applies to Cyberpunk 2077 as well. This is a huge game, huge IP for a team that aren't very big as well. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this kind of thing? I'm gonna start with Abs, because I think you'll have probably the strongest opinion.
I don't like it. Just in my personal life, I've come along to think, if my boss forced me to do overtime and said, "Oh, we're going to pay you for it, but you have to do it. You don't have a choice," I'd be so angry. I'd be so angry.
Let's hope he hasn't got his boss subscribed to the page.
No, but I feel like my boss knows this. I feel like my boss would be angry about this as well. But
let me throw you a curveball, though. Let me throw you a curveball. That's fine for you. Let me ask you something, though. If your job was to talk about video games or play video games for that amount of time, would you be okay doing it? Because I'm sure these people that work at... Yeah, exactly. These people...
enjoy what they do, innit?
Doing it for yourself. Like, let's say we've done this for a corporation and they said, no, we want free review videos. We don't care what it takes. You need to work weekends if you have to. It wouldn't feel the same. You'll be thinking, I love this job, but now they're forcing me to give out all my time for it. And yeah, I'm getting paid, but it's too much.
Well, I do think it depends on what they're getting paid, because, you have a choice at the end of the day. Like, as much as you say, it's overtime, they're forced to do it. They're getting paid to do what they're doing. And a lot of people do love what they're doing. And if they didn't love it, you don't have to stay on board with the projects. You can move on.
No, but it should, shouldn't it?
Yeah, but this is the difference. I feel like there's vocations and there's working. There's people that are doing specific jobs because they love the field that they're in. May potentially want to spend a lot more time on what they're doing because they want to get the final product of what they're. It's like they're kind of like entrepreneurs. you're working on something, you're building something by yourself, you're building with a team. So, that kind of thrill kind of keeps them motivated, keeps them going. But, there will be some people that are just there. They're just good at what they do. They don't not necessarily like, well, I think it'd be difficult not to like gaming and do what they do, but it may be the case, So for those people, how much effort they put in is down to them, innit, at the end of the day. I'm pretty sure you can keep me as many hours as you want. It doesn't mean I'm going to finish what I'm doing. So,
And how do you feel? Yeah.
I agree and I don't agree at the same time with crunch. In terms of I already work in a job where if you have to do overtime, I literally have no choice. You have to do overtime, but that's just because of the logistics of my job. So I don't really mind it in that sense, but I think for them, I don't think they will mind too much about the crunch because hopefully it's not for too long, but also you're building a AAA game that you want to be the best game ever made when it comes out. So these final hours that you're putting into the game, hopefully is what's going to separate from the rest. Because at the end of the day, if it comes out on day one and it's a buggy mess or whatever, no matter what you do, the reviews are going to give you 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10, blah, blah, blah. Even if the next week after that, you fix everything and it's a 10 out of 10 game, as far as they're concerned, the week that it came out, it was 6 out of 10. And that's what's going to go on all of the boards. It's a 6 out of 10 game. So these next 2 months for them, it might be long because you're doing an extra 8, 10 hours or whatever it is, but it's for the benefit of yourself and your company. And at the end of the day, so I'm sure most of these people that work for this company, they've got like stock options and stuff like that. And depending on how the game sells, they'll get extra money. So you need to make sure those reviews on day one are 9 and 10 out of 10. Otherwise, you're going to mess up yourself and other people as well. So it is what it is at the end of the day, innit? Like you're trying to build the best game. You don't want to put out something nonsense. So yeah, it's something that has to be done.
You're in a career where what you do matters. Like, I'm not being funny, but if the next project is ready and to go after this one is completed, who are you going to keep? The people that didn't stay on, or are you going to go and find new people that will stay on and put the effort in when they want it? You know what I mean? So there is a part where it's forced, but also, and I said, if they don't get in 10s from day dot, if you was to leave them and try and move on to another team or to another project, they're going to be looking at what you created, whether it was part of a team or not. You was part of the team that brought out a game that was 6 out of 10, as opposed to a game that was 10 out of 10. So your work ethic reflects what you get out of it. You reap what you sow.
The only thing I'll say is that the reason this was revealed is because someone came out and said it, right? So they were bothered by the fact that they were doing crunch and they revealed it to the public just to expose the company. The thing that bothers me about this is we're doing crunch now.
No, just wait, sorry. I think it was basically the CEO, actually, or not the CEO, but someone very important that actually came out and said, "Okay, guys, we're actually going into crunch. We're going into mandatory crunch."
But I thought he came after it was revealed. Someone revealed it.
But the problem is because lastly he said there won't be a crunch.
Oh yeah.
He also said
that's the issue. Yeah. So
my thing is that you set the deadline. You've already pushed the game back. Why are we crunching if you've pushed the game back?
Because we're living in unprecedented times.
That's very true. No, it's very true. Like, it's literally true.
They decided to push the game back. They could have pushed it back to February and there'll be no crunch.
If they push it back to, there's going to be riots. I'm like people are already pissed off that it's coming out in November.
What do they call them? Stakeholders as well. Like, there's a lot of, there's a lot that goes into
the time. They're pushing the timings as tight as they can, and that's forcing crunch. If we had allowed a bit of time, it wouldn't be this crunch.
It's about budgeting though as well. If they've set a budget and their investors are given a certain amount to a set time period, you can't keep pushing that back and back. It's not like, the TFL when they start saying crossroll and now it's 5 years down the line. You know what, we're going to need some more. Yeah, we're going to just give it a bit more. But they can't there's no one to pay them. There's no one that's going to keep funding that funnel to get this perfect game. Eventually, it has to come out. So, it's going to have to be crunch or die. Like, come out now, and like, at the same pace you're going and get a 6 out of 10 game, or crunch and get the 10. Because it's coming out on one of these deadlines. There's obviously been a conversation where it's like, we cannot afford to push this back any further. They give themselves that first little bit of leeway, where they know this is the window we're going to allow. We'll set ourselves a first target, and when we push it back, right, this is as far as we can go. I think this is it. They're like, oh, we're in trouble now. It has to be done.
Yeah.
Now it comes when you release gameplay and people are like, we don't like that, and then you push it back to perfect what the people don't like. That's what happened with Halo, right?
Yeah.
Well, how many games get put in crunch like that? How often is this?
I would probably say 90% of 90% of games. AAA games actually go through crunch, I would say, because they've got big teams. So it's like, okay, guys, we've got a load of bugs. We need to get these sorted out, basically. So 90%, I would say. Most of them don't last as long as like The Last of Us 2 crunch, but they get some.
That's what I'm saying. You're in an industry where you know that when you're creating AAA games, there's going to be crunch. There's going to be crunch like that. There's the label is there. We know what it's called because it's there. Like,
I know it now. I don't think crunch was a thing.
I think it was always a thing.
You're basically like applying for a job and they say to you, at the end of the day, there's going to be this moment when the game's coming out and there's going to be crunch. Are you happy to work these hours? They would have agreed to that.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they tell you that when they're giving you the job.
Come on, man. They
know. That would be like.
I think they know that it's in the industry, but I don't think they tell them in the job interview you're going to be doing crunch.
Right.
Complain.
Even if they didn't tell them, they know. Yeah, you don't tell me, I didn't know this was going to happen. You've been working on the project for years and you can see it's not finished. What do you think is going to happen? They're going to be like, all right, boys, take another 3 years if you like. Ladies and gentlemen, you know it's coming.
If I told you that I was sending you to China to make shoes by hand, would you think that it was going to be a great environment to work in?
That's where I'm going. What I'm saying, on my jobs, my job is done by timelines. I give a certain amount of time to do this project. If I know that job isn't going to be done in that time, I'll go to my manager and say, this isn't going to be done. You haven't given me enough time. Then it's his job to say, let me give Amalek a few more days. And we're not working to our timeline. We're working to the client's timeline. So we've got to work out with them, extending it.
But you have to understand, Cyberpunk's been pushed back many times already. Like, it's been pushed back like 3 times.
Oh, yeah. But why didn't they know it wasn't going to be finished? Because I can tell I've been doing my job long enough to know it's going to take this long.
No, that's not. You can't say that because it's a completely new game. It's not. It's not like you're going on to a. It's not like they've made this game and now the next game they're making another version of it, and then they're like, it took us 6 years last time, but we're going to give ourselves a deadline of 3 years this time. It's not like that. Like, that's completely different.
5 years, 6 years.
It's been 8 years. They announced this in 2012.
That's a mess.
But this is a completely different game from anything that they've worked on before. And it's a much bigger game.
And you're making it on two different generation consoles as well.
You're being funded by the government. Make it happen.
It's going to happen. November 19th. It's going to be here.
It's good. And that leads us into the next bit of news, kind of, anyway, which is, it's not really that much of news, but the game has actually gone gold now. So there was a lot of people that actually didn't think the game was coming out. As I said, some people on this this podcast itself. But now the game has actually gone gold.
It might not come out. They might say, hold the disc back. We need to crunch a bit more to get this day one update.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, the game is gone gold. It's definitely coming out on November 19th now. I'm very, very, very happy about this. That's going to be a great way to spend my birthday. I'm going to ignore all phone calls and text messages playing that game. And yeah, man, I'm excited about that. But let's talk about PlayStation and Xbox. People have been getting their hands-on impressions. What are your thoughts, guys, on what they've been saying? They've been saying stuff like both consoles are running cool, backwards compatibility, runs great on Xbox, nothing about PlayStation so far. But the adaptive triggers are looking kind of interesting. Obviously, we haven't had our own hands on, so we can't really give our impressions. But what are your thoughts on what you've seen on both consoles so far?
If you want to send us a console, feel free.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I won't lie. Yeah, this is coming across. This is probably going to surprise a few people. I'm actually more excited for the Xbox Series X than the PlayStation 5.
Same.
Like, I didn't expect that to be the case. Like this time last year, definitely. Even though I knew they were coming, you could not tell me that. Xbox was gonna influence things like this. But yeah, what are your thoughts, Ams?
I'm personally more excited for the PS5, not just because I'm a Sony fan, because I've already got games coming for it. So day one, I'll be playing NBA, Miles. So there'll be games there for me to play rather than Series X, where I don't know if I'm going to get one this year, one. And two, when I do get it, it's just going to be Game Pass. Okay. But the things I've been hearing are good. From what I know, the Japanese influencers and media got their hands on the PS5 and they've been getting to play next-gen consoles. And on the Series X side, they've been getting to do backwards compatibility. One interesting thing I did see is that neither console is going to have a terabyte hard drive once the operating system's on there.
Yeah.
So they put a bit more data on to hit the terabyte. But PS5 is going to have 700.
Let's all be honest, yeah. Let's all be honest. By this time next year, that's going to be the size of Call of Duty Warzone, do you know what I mean? So it's not even going to matter how big it is anyway. So.
The brave already for me.
They're taking the pick, man. Honestly.
But
I've been told the latest update, it takes up over 250 gigs. So the standard PlayStation user, you can't have any more games. You can't even have that game. So I don't know what they want at this stage. This is beyond the joke.
Don't buy it. Download it. It's free.
CJ's gonna have
I don't even want it on my console anymore.
CJ's
gonna
like
trying to take advantage of me. Like I want to be able to choose what I want to play. You would take control of my life. No.
CJ's gonna have an SSD just for Call of Duty. I promise you. But what are your
thing about next gen? Extra space is going to be expensive.
That's very true.
The Series X has a expandable drive, 1 terabyte. That's $220. I think that's
ridiculous.
Compared to £200 here. So if you got a Series S, have fun.
Why does it cost that much though?
It's just how much it costs.
SSDs cost around that
buy an
much.
external SSD from like Argos or whatever. It's about £120.
It's the speed though, isn't it? Because even PlayStation, their expandable storage at the speed that you'll need to run the games, the way next gen games are run, I think it's going to be 240 for a terabyte. So they're both going to be expensive to expand your storage.
To be honest with you,
play one game at a time.
Pretty much.
Or we have to hope that we just be able to stream.
Well, they're saying that with the new technology, the games are going to be more compressed. So
I don't see it. I don't know about you guys. Do you really believe that statement? Like,
I think what they've come out also is said that you can delete. Well, I know that Xbox you can do it. I'm sure PlayStation can do it probably as well. But you'll be able to delete sections of games that you don't really care about, which would actually make a big difference for Call of Duty, I believe. Or so that stuff like that. You'll probably be able to like complete a single player and then download just the multiplayer or delete it afterwards. So that'll be kind of a good thing, I guess. Especially, I don't know for a fact, but I think when you download games onto a SSD, I think it downloads quicker. I may be totally wrong with that. I'm not sure, but
you probably should do.
I think it transfers quicker. What might be good is I know Xbox are doing it. If you have, I hope PlayStation does it as well, but Xbox is in the forefront with this, where you have games installed on your Xbox One. You can transfer it over network to your Xbox Series X. Won't be very good for next gen games, but for the games that you're playing that are backwards compatible, transfer it over the network. It goes quickly, and you got a new game there, just like that.
That'll be pretty cool. But that's not gonna really work for any of us because none of us own an Xbox.
That's why I said I hope PS does it, because then we can just transfer our PS games over network.
Yeah, that's true. What are your impressions so far, CJ, of what you've seen of the Xbox and the PlayStation?
It's interesting, yeah, because I don't know. I don't like being missold in it. At the end of the day, if you gave a kid that likes football, you got to be happy with it, innit? Like, the people that are giving these consoles to want the consoles, they are excited for them. They're only going to give positivity out of it. Like, you're ready until, you know, the nostalgia, like, you know, that feeling of wanting something. That when the want is more enjoyable than when you actually get it. Like, they got it now. You know, let's just see after maybe a week or two if the first impressions is exactly the same and is sitting the same way. I do believe that, you know, the consoles are probably a lot quieter because it's not hard to be quieter than an aeroplane. So if they got that wrong, they should just take the console back anyway. But I mean, and the other stuff to it, yeah, I guess I'm just kind of still a wait and see, man. I want my own excitement out of it as well. I do expect it to be great, and I kind of just want to have that first impression myself. But if I'm looking at it as someone that's having an overview of the consoles, I do want to know if there is bugs or if there is little things that, you know, could be better. I don't know if that's the first thing I'd look for when I got a new console. When I got the PS3, I didn't look at it and think, oh, this is really chunky, or, you know, like this thing is loud or anything. But give it a little while and you start comparing it to other stuff, you'd be like, well, actually, how good is this right now? Yeah. How long are the batteries in the controller lasting for? And that's another thing. I don't know how are the Xbox going to have batteries again, or are they going to have rechargeable?
They're probably going to have batteries.
I think it's going to be rechargeable though. I think
you can buy
batteries. Yeah.
The batteries. See what I mean? And then for me, again, that is just something so small, but just that's a joke about that. How I can't be playing at 3 a.m. and I have to go to the shop to buy batteries. Are you sick? That is just, the fact that they haven't fixed that already is just nonsense.
That's unacceptable. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna like it, but I'm gonna buy the rechargeable pack things that they.
I'm not buying it. It should be included. These batteries.
And these are little things they're not talking about. They're not addressing these things. They are problems. That's a joke. Like, why should I have to deal with that? The same with the space. You know, they're talking about this compression of space and stuff, but they're putting this capability of being able to delete parts of your games, which is already telling me that the games are not going to be as small as they're making out to be, because they've made it so you can delete those parts of those games.
That's a good point.
And they're basically saying, you know, we're going to have SSD drives available, so we know you're going to need it, so you're going to have to buy it. That's a joke. You're mugging me.
I think it's more so that you can download.
I feel like they're sending me the console without the remote. That's basically what it is. They're sending me the TV without the power or something. So you're not sick. What do you mean? Yeah. You're sending me the DVD player without the disc tray and said, yeah, you have to buy this part to be able to use it. Go away. Like this, little things like that. I'm not happy with. I understand it's a business and they're going to do that, but you know, if I'm being as critical as I can be, and which I am trying to do, that these little things, I'm not won over. Like,
you've got good points, definitely. So, what were you gonna say, Ams? You were gonna say something.
In terms of the SSD, I think they've noticed they've come from an era like current gen. People have like 6 terabyte external SSDs attached to their console, and they never have to delete a game. I think they've taken that into an account. That's why right now the storage is now. We need to get this storage out, otherwise people are going to be upset. Like, people have all these big storage and neither of them are putting more than 1 terabyte in their consoles. 1, because it's expensive, and 2, because they know people are just going to buy their external storage or extra storage. That's why Xbox has made their proprietary one that you have to buy it with the Xbox branding on it. I think
but then why is it so expensive then?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you just said it, like they're making sure that you have to buy the one with their logo on it. Like, that is just a scumbag move. That's scummy, that is.
To be fair, it might bring the price down a bit later, maybe, because to get a SSD at those speeds is expensive.
I think they're around the same price.
If you don't buy the one with the branded logo, the Xbox logo on it, are your games not going to run at the right speeds?
I assume you have to transfer them to the actual console to run them at the proper speeds. I don't even know if you can run it.
It will probably run it pretty well. It probably won't be able to take. Oh, actually,
the PS ones, I don't think run the game.
On Xbox, you actually have to have their hard drive to play the game because it needs to take advantage of the velocity architecture that they've got in their Xbox. So it actually needs to be like their SSD, which is wild to me because I don't think PlayStation are doing that. They basically just said that if you want to put your own SSD in there, it just has to have a certain type of read and write speed. So they're
going to release a list of which ones you can get for it, but they're not going to be the cheap ones. They're going to be like the creme.
But this is the thing I'm saying about, you've made your console, but you're trying to make every single part of it limited to where we can spend our money. We have to spend it on with them, with Sony, with Xbox. And they're on things that I don't feel potentially we should have to pay for.
Like having to pay, like not being able to use a freaking PS4 controller on a PS5. That's so wild, man.
That's ridiculous. Wild. How many times have we had to buy new controllers because these ones just decide, the time is up?
Like this generation, next generation, don't it? They implement new technologies and then they force all the companies to use those new technologies and to encourage you to buy that stuff. They say no, you can't use the old stuff.
Okay, so my question to that, my rebuttal, I'm gonna come back at you with something. On Spider, with games like Spider-Man, which are going to be cross-platform, and games like Horizon Zero Dawn, which is also going to be cross-platform, why can I not play Horizon Zero Dawn on my PS5 with a PS4 controller?
Yeah. They say with PS4 games you can play
with PS5 graphics, right? Or is this just the
graphics? But not, you won't be able to play. I don't think you'll be able to play remastered PS Spider-Man with a PS4 pad. I think PS5 games you have to use a PS5 pad. They've said
that's ridiculous.
That doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't even make sense.
Their wallet. That's the problem. Companies like money.
It's a violation. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like you're wearing Apple headphones, but if I decided I wanted to use the Sony headphones now. It's a no. It's just the music won't come out anymore. It doesn't sound the same. It doesn't work. It won't play my CD player. It won't play my same phone. How?
With the SSD, I don't think I want them to put a bigger one in because that money is being charged to us. So we're going to be spending $550, $600 for a PS5 and Xbox Series X if they
charge anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. Extra $150 just because they decided you need this space. Give me my $1
but it doesn't matter. Even if it was £600, people are going to buy it regardless anyway. Oh, yeah. As long as you get good, decent enough space, people would have bought it.
But you're going to buy yours and you're not necessarily going to extend your storage. I know I'm not, at least for the first few years. Unless it gets really bad, I'm not going to be extending it. So I don't have to spend that $150 straight away. I don't want to spend that $150 straight away. I'd rather put that in games for now.
They're saying games are not going to be that large, but this Call of Duty is over 250 gig, and there's a lot of games that are over 100 gig. I'm sure
loads.
100 gig. Like, what? You're telling me these new games with the new capability that they have are not going to be larger than these older games? They're going to be smaller now. So they're going to be bigger. Anyway, they're just not going to be as big as they're trying to say that they potentially will be. They should be a terabyte, but I'm going to compress them so they're 300 gig. Like, it's still only going to allow me to have 3 games on my console.
I think they released the size of some, and I think Miles is 50 gig. So some games.
Miles is only a 20-hour game, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, but.
Do we really think Cyberpunk is going to be under 200 gig?
It's going to finish everything.
Definitely going to be under 200 gig. Because Red Dead was only 105.
Only 105. What's going on?
About all that was in Red Dead with online and offline and the size of the world.
Abs is indoctrinated. Only 100 gig.
I don't think it's great, but to put it into context, if Warzone is 250, to have Red Dead at 100 is pretty good, considering how much goes into Red Dead.
Yeah, true.
It's still bad though.
It's still bad. I'm lost anyway.
It's still bad though.
What I'm saying is Red Dead's the exception on PS4. God of War was 50, 60. Spider-Man was 60, 70. These games aren't like regularly over 100 gig. It's mainly the shooters like Battlefront 2, Battlefield, Call of Duty were all over 100 gig. Like the adventure games, it's games like Red Dead that go over 100 gig. Maybe GTA 5, I think.
Last of Us did as well, I think.
Last of Us was 70 as well.
There was one more.
Tsushima was 50.
This is the thing. Both of those games are gonna get updates with multiplayer in it as well. So that's probably gonna take them up to 100 gig. Then what? FIFA's gonna be almost 100 gig as well. If you play 2K and FIFA, that's half your space almost gone basically. FIFA, NBA, and Call of Duty, that's your space gone. It's nuts. I don't know. I
think the action games will be less. I think you'll find maybe your Gears and your Horizon won't go over 100 gig.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the space of games on Xboxes, so I wouldn't even comment on that one. But
it's the same. It's the same size, isn't it?
I was thinking more the Halos and those kind of games.
It is what it is. We'll have to. We've heard some good points. Definitely, we are gonna have to see how that pans out. CJ's basically made me very not concerned but wary of what's gonna happen and how my opinions of the first month of these consoles when they come out.
Digital's gonna be difficult.
Say that again.
Digital's might be a bit more difficult.
No. Digital. I've already got my plan. I know where I'm buying my games. They're gonna be just as cheap as physical and stuff like that.
Not in price. I just mean downloading.
No, it's the same thing. Disc, you just download it onto your thing as well. So
I'm saying it might read faster off the disc because all the data's on the disc.
Oh, maybe that might be the case as well. But let's move on to the next topic, which is related to what we've been talking about. The pre-orders basically for these two consoles have been reported to be coming out at 2021 for some customers in places like Ireland, I believe. This is just nuts to me, but personally, and this is for customers that actually pre-ordered when they first announced pre-orders coming out. So it's not like for people that didn't get it as So this is a bit nuts.
Honestly, I'm generally not surprised though. To be honest, I think obviously when the PS5 came out and the pre-orders went out, I think a lot of companies overestimated how many PS5s they're going to get. They didn't do their website properly to begin with as well, so people were able to order multiple consoles and stuff like that. So I'm generally not surprised that now they're coming back saying, look, you might not get a release day even though you ordered it at the right time, kind of thing, innit? So
quick question.
So yeah, I'm
quick question. Amps, have you still got your two PS4s already, or I mean PS5's ready?
Yeah, I've still got both. As far as I know, I should be getting two. So
which ones do you have?
That's cool.
Both the this version, yeah.
I'm out of that one.
Yeah, so
TJ, the physical.
No, I got my one and I was happy. I just sat there.
TJ, what have you got?
Whatever one you lot have, innit?
What? I didn't know this. This is news to me.
We are not new to this information. I'm not pre-ordering. You might have pre-ordered 4. There's not that many.
You saying?
To be fair, I've actually got 3. I've actually got 3. But I'm definitely getting my Xbox Series X and my PS5 day one. Definitely. I've personally had no news of it might come later than expected. So I guess that's the benefit of living in London. They probably shipped all of them here pretty much. But yeah, go on, what were you gonna say?
The whole thing of pre-order, is it's great, but I've never missed out on anything from pre-order. Like, there's never come to release date and there hasn't been one in the store, or there hasn't been something somewhere.
Yeah.
It's
not one of those things that if you don't get it on Friday, then that's it. It's not like trainers or anything like that. Like, it doesn't matter. You can get it in a week's time or whatever.
There will be no limitation to where the games get, like how much there's going to have of this console. I mean,
the first time that happened to me was
the whole thing about pre-orders, is that they're not going to be shipping them from store. They're going to be shipping them from factory or from wherever. So what they get to store will be in store, and at the end of the day, you can pick up from there. My expectation is that they're going to ship a certain amount in one go, whereas for pre-orders, you're shipping loads of individual parcels. Like, you're sending a bulk to one location, but so when you think of it in that respect, I'm not surprised that there's going to be delays in your shipping. Like, the amount of orders that have gone up, Amazon's gone up to how many billion now, because every day there's orders. Everybody is ordering online for everything. So with the orders that go out in general anyway, you've now slapped two consoles on top of that, and you're not expecting delays. Like, you can't, I don't even know how well. I think you can still kind of get next day on Amazon for a lot of stuff, but if you look at like a lot of products, there's a long delay for a lot of stuff. You can't get your stuff within 3-4 working days. And looking at consoles that are going out in the masses, there was always going to be a delay. So I'm not surprised. I'm sorry that there's a delay. I'm just so thankful and grateful to have such great friends that went out of their way to make sure they ordered one console. That I could get one. You need people like this, guys. You need people like.
This is bad news for them. I don't really care. I'm not gonna lie, but
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Of launch day, I think they've sent out some ones to cover the pre-orders, and they're sending more out for launch day so people can get them after launch day or on launch day. But I don't think if you go to the store, you're going to get one, because most places people are going to be queuing up from a few days before, I think.
Yeah. Like, people were queuing for pre-orders. So imagine what it's going to be like when the actual consoles come out. That's just a bad idea to not pre-order that stuff. But
in Christmas you might get one. If not,
you think Christmas you're gonna get one?
You'll be like PS4. Like, I didn't pre-order, and I managed to get one like 2 weeks after November. Well, I just went to game like 4 times, and then eventually they had one stock.
I think both companies were struggling with.
I think you even managed to get. You got 3 that day. You got yours. Daniel and mine.
Yeah, so
it'll be that the first day rush. Don't get me wrong. The queues will be there for that first day rush, but they are going to be shipping them to the stores daily. You know what I mean? Like,
you just need to go at the right time. That's it.
9 to 5. There's not going to be queues from 9 to 5 in those stores. Every day.
It's COVID
for 4 days. Like, come on.
I'm looking at the point though. Yeah, people are working from home, so they will end up at that game store where.
Yeah, I know that. But what I mean is that, like, you have to think how many hours there are in a day, from 9 a.m. when it opens till it's probably 8 p.m. at night. You think there's going to be queues every day for over 2 weeks in every store?
I just think they will take them all. I think it will run out, and then they'll have to ship more. It just depends on if Sony and Microsoft can make the demand, because it's not just us, and it's worldwide. They have to supply everyone.
Yeah. I do think though they've prepped this. Like, there's these consoles are in the country in a storage. Ready to, they're probably built.
Amazon, they already have their consoles.
Yeah.
They were doing from to get the consoles to different places.
If I find out where that factory is,
PS5s repaired.
What might be good is if people can't afford their pre-order, so more stuff sitting in the shops. Because if their day comes and they're like, "Oh, we can't get the money off your card," and they're saying like, "You'll get a PS5."
A lot of people go to stores and pre-order and stuff like that, but they're pre-ordering more than one shop. And if you don't go and collect your item, they're not going to charge you for it. So I think there will be a stage where they say, if you haven't come to collect your console in a certain amount of days, there will be consoles to sell.
Yeah,
they'll sell whatever's there, innit? Like they're not gonna hold out on money.
yeah,
No way.
Just
Like, the
because
shop
you're,
owners need to cash in. Like this is like the biggest like this is the biggest season for them. When these consoles come in, when you walk in that store, if there's a console there, they will sell it to you.
100%. Yeah.
They already lost a lot of money, innit? Buying from Microsoft and Sony, so they need to recoup that.
Yeah.
You 2 weeks to recoup the money. They'll just sell it on to the next person who's there.
Yeah, definitely. Let's move on to the final subject of the podcast. This one, I believe, is probably going to be a bit short, but it's very important because Ghost of Tsushima have come out with a little patch and update speaking about their multiplayer and co-op missions that are coming out. Ams, I believe you're probably the most excited about this, so let's go in. I'm going to let you go into details about it.
Details. What did they release? So they announced the patch is coming on the 16th.
Are you speaking? I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh wait, okay, it's just me then. Sorry, go on. Go ahead.
They announced the patch is coming on the 16th, and with it comes New Game Plus, which I'm excited for. I wanted to play the game again, which comes with new cosmetics, new charms that have powers that I don't know about you guys, but I expected to see these powers in the game already, but apparently they're releasing them now. Legends is coming, which brings co-op and a new raid mode and something else where you can play as 4 different characters together, and there's 4 different classes. From watching videos, I learned those classes are warrior,
Samurai Ronin,
and
Assassin, and
Hunter's the bow one.
Maybe Hunter. Yeah.
So it's basically the classes that were in the game, the people that were.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be good. I'm excited for it. It would be good if we can get on and stream it. See who carries the team, see who lets the team down. That should be interesting.
Yeah,
of course.
We definitely know who died the most in their playthrough. Jesus. I'll find out very soon. I'll put my money on Adnan, to be honest with you, because
it probably will be me because I didn't enjoy playing that game at all. You're gonna see my player jumping left, right, center. Honestly, those frame skips were crazy. No.
I'll put that down to.
I was surprised about that. You know, I wasn't expecting more content from the game. I don't know why. I just thought it was one of those playthrough games. You play it and it's done. And the sheer size of the game in itself, anyway, it was a very long game. We'll always go back to it. I don't know how I'm going to complete that game that quickly. I still will never know. I'm excited. I think because I actually did enjoy the game. So for them to bring more, great. I love a co-op anyway. And this whole 4-player stuff, it just gives me that idea, you know, the GTA missions, the Red Dead stuff. So I think it'd be good. I think it'd be really good. And if we can all play it together, that would be sick.
You know what I just thought about? Yeah, me, Andan, and CJ all have base PS4s. Once these particles start flashing from all of us doing special moves and stuff, our PlayStations are gonna crash. Oh my god! Jesus Christ!
They know that's why it's a month before PS5. It's gonna confirm you need that PS5. That's it.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be a bit nuts.
It's gonna throw one of them explosion things.
Yeah, that's it. You see a blue screen on your PlayStation. That's it. Done. That's.
My PlayStation's been getting this red light of death. Red light, like almost at least 3 times a week. Wow. It's like, and it just comes to your PlayStation is too hot. It just comes up. I'm like,
and clean it.
I've opened it. I think you know what it is. I keep putting it in the cupboard and keep forgetting that I'll just turn it on, and when all of a sudden I'll open that cupboard, everything in there is just scalding hot. Red. I have to get a fan and directly place it in front of it to cool it down, though. It's scary. So
that's definitely tune in for that one. We're definitely going to stream that. That's only in about a week's time, so definitely going to be a bit of content. Yeah, that's going to be content for you guys to watch, and I believe we'll end it there actually. So yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we will catch you on the next one. Take care.
Peace.
Peace.